Good morning, my friend. I will be right with you. Drop me a note in the comments. Let me know you are here wherever you may be watching. Good morning, good morning, good morning. What is going on? We are Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn this morning. So drop me a note in the comments. Let me know where you are watching. Let me know if you're watching. Maybe nobody's watching today. Who knows? Sylvester, Poland is watching today. Poland is watching for sure. Good morning, Brenda. Happy October. Karam, how are you, sir? We got a few on LinkedIn. I love it. We are starting to see more and more friends watching on LinkedIn. I'm still trying to drive you guys a little bit to YouTube, and I will explain a little bit more about the why for that. But for those of you that are brand new, welcome to Men Up with Mike. My name is Mike Cameron, and thank you, Brenda. It is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, October 1st. This is a show where we talk about all things leadership, personal development, and really just becoming the best version of yourself and showing up in this world in a way that you can impact others. And we do it through the lens of what it means to be a dude, what it means to be a man, and address some of the unique challenges that we face as men in this world, some of the societal pressures, those stereotypes that we need to buck. So that's what we do. That's what we do on Men Up with Mike. And I am thrilled that you guys are here. If you've watched me before, you know I like to try and make this as interactive as possible, which sometimes can make it a little bit challenging on the replay. But I promise I'll do my best to keep it entertaining. And like I said, I love the engagement. Katie is here from Ottawa. Wes, how are you from Edmonton? It is so good to see you guys. What is going on this morning? So this morning, I want to talk a little bit about resistance, self-sabotage, and fear. Any of that ring true? When you hear those three phrases, words, what comes up for you? Resistance, self-sabotage, fear. What comes up for you when I say those words? Drop me a note in the comments. Let me know. You know, life is hard enough as it is without us putting our own roadblocks in our way. And I know for me, I can be guilty of being my own worst enemy. I can be, and I often am, the biggest roadblock in my life, the biggest roadblock to my success, the biggest hurdle to me moving forward is not usually some external force. It's not usually some, and I would almost say it's never an external force. But I don't love absolutes. But I will say that more often than not, the thing that stands in my way of getting me from where I am to where I want to be is usually me. And found me on YouTube, could not comment. Good morning, Michelle. How are you doing, babe? Good to see you here. Katie, hard but good indicator that something needs more attention. Yeah, I love, trying to put these things out in a title to see what lands, what resonates, why you tune in. So that's actually a really good question. Why do you guys tune in? Why do you want to listen to this weirdo speak for a few minutes, whether that's 20 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, maybe only tune in for 30 seconds, who knows? But what do you get out of listening to me? I'm always curious about that one. So I'm going to talk just a little bit about YouTube. Anne could not find the way to comment, and you might have to be logged into YouTube to see the live chat feature. I will show you guys that at some point. I am trying to build up that YouTube channel so that I can broadcast direct on YouTube, which means then I can actually embed it a little more intentionally on the website, and I can start to move off some of these other platforms and move directly onto MikeCameron.ca. Katie says, it makes me feel not so weird when I listen to you. Haha. Good. Yeah, we're all weird. Everybody's weird. Anne says, because I start her day with profound thoughts and ideas. Thank you, Anne. Brenda. Insights are powerful. Oh, where'd we go? Makes me feel not so weird. Refreshing, speak truth and honesty. Thank you, guys. This is, I don't know that I've ever actually asked that question, so I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So let's talk a little bit about self-sabotage, resistance, and fear. You know, actually, I had a really interesting thing happen to me at the gym this morning. So every Tuesday, Thursday, I go to Exist Fitness. One of my best friends owns a fitness studio here in Sherwood Park. And I go every Tuesday, Thursday at 6 a.m. There's a great group of individuals that have been going there for a few years now. And we show up and we push each other. We challenge each other. We work hard together. And this morning at the end of the workout, Jamie, our instructor, had put Tabatas on the board. So if you don't know what Tabatas are sort of interval sets. It's 20 seconds on as hard as you can, 10 seconds complete rest, 20 seconds on as hard as you can, and you do that 8 times. So it turns out to be 4 minutes of total time, 20-second bursts of work. And so today we wrapped up with cardio Tabatas. So you could choose skipping, you could choose bicycling, you could choose running up and down stairs, you could choose burpees, a number of things. And it's so funny because if you've ever been to the gym and you've ever done burpees, I don't know, but I kind of feel like burpees are a universal hate. I'm not sure there's a whole lot of people that love burpees. So when it comes to Tabatas, and again, Tabatas are hard work. They're sort of all out effort for 20 seconds at a time with only 10 seconds in between. So every time Jamie talks about Tabata, cardio Tabata, and I know burpees are one of the options, the first thing that springs into my mind is, well, I know what the fuck I'm not doing, and that's burpees. Guess what I ended up doing today? I did burpees. And that was because I opened my big yap. My friend Jen goes to the studio as well. And Jen wanted to split hers up, and she wanted to do 2 different exercises. And I joked that, oh, that's cheating. You can't do that. And so Jen called me out and said, okay. She said, well, I'll do burpees for the entire set if you'll do burpees for the entire set. And I just thought, crap. Now I kind of have to do burpees. But it was such a good, like, it was an incredible way to finish the workout. It was an incredible way to kickstart my day. As you can tell, I'm fired up, I'm jacked, I'm pumped, I'm ready to go because I did the hard work. I did that thing that I knew I least wanted to do, but probably know is one of the best things for me to do. Good morning, Justin. How are you, sir? So I just thought it was a really interesting exercise, mind exercise for me to look at, okay, what is it I'm avoiding? And like I said, burpees are not something you do after having a beer. So a burpee is you drop down to your chest, you go down, you go back up, and you spring back up and you do a little jump. And then you go back down again. So they're just really exhausting. They're very cardio intense. They get your heart pumping very hard. So anyways, I ended up doing burpees with Jen, and we pushed each other. And at the end of the day, it was probably the best workout I could have had. And I could have sat on the bike, and the thing with the bike is you can kind of spin your legs as fast or as slow as you want, and nobody really knows. But when you're doing burpees, it's pretty evident whether or not you are moving quickly. So I just thought, that was another great example of where do I get in my own way? I know I need to do the work to get physically fit like I want. Like I love that. I can feel that firmness of muscle building and growing. And I love it. I love the feeling I get. I feel powerful. I feel like I can do anything. I feel like I can change the world. Yet I resist doing those burpees, doing those things that are the hardest, but ultimately give me the best results. And I just thought that was such a good metaphor for today's topic, for today's talk, talking about where do we resist in life? Where do we self-sabotage? And why do we do that? And the answer is almost always fear. Sometimes we're afraid of the hard work. Sometimes we're afraid of what success will look like. Sometimes we're afraid of the embarrassment if we actually don't succeed. I talked to a client recently. Again, these are all the beauty of what I do is I have the opportunity to talk to so many different people and help them get through some of the obstacles that they're working through. And sometimes when you get that outside perspective, it's just so obvious, but you can't see it. It's like you can't read the label from inside the pill bottle. You can't read the label from inside the jar. But when you've got somebody outside looking at it, it's like, yeah, that's exactly what that says. So my question today, because this comes down to an awareness thing, like almost everything I talk about, with awareness comes choice. So actually taking the time to reflect and think about, where are you standing in your own way? I talked to somebody this week that wants to launch a new program. Had all kinds of reasons why they had to do X, Y, and Z before they could launch the new program. They were looking for validation. They were looking for, scientific proof that this stuff would work. And at the end of the day, I just said to them, why don't you just fucking do it? And you'll find out if it works. Like we're talking about a 4-week program or an 8-week program or whatever. I can't remember exactly what it was. But why do we stand in our own way? Why do we wait for that validation? Why do we embrace that resistance that we put in front of us? The same thing holds true with me and doing that group coaching that I do. I've been talking about that for ages, yet I was afraid to put it out there. I wanted validation. I wanted to make sure that I had all my ducks in a row. I wanted to have the website. I wanted to have the infrastructure in place to deal with it. I kept throwing up all these little roadblocks disguised as milestones. They weren't milestones, they're fucking roadblocks. And when I sat there and realized these aren't milestones, these are roadblocks, then I just launched. And that's when the magic happens. When we step out of our own way and we just launch and we just go. Because I don't care how much research you read. I don't care how much time, energy, and effort you put into preparing, getting ready, making things right. You will never know until you execute. Paralysis by analysis. How often have we heard that? Where do you do that? Or maybe you negotiate against yourself. If you're going into a conversation with somebody else, you think of all the reasons why they won't accept what you're offering. And so you start negotiating with yourself. And then you never actually have that conversation. You never actually make that offer. I do this all the time in business. I do it all the time. Partly because I'm generous of spirit and I love to give. But I give discounts way more than I should. way more than I should. I know the value of what I offer, but I get in my own way. I start negotiating in my head with, yeah, but you know what? If I charge them full price, they're not going to want to pay that. And they're going to this and they're going to that. And maybe they can't afford it. And I really want to help them. And I really want to work with them. So therefore I'll drop a discount. I'm negotiating with myself without even making the offer. It's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. And I do it all the time. Again, I know the value I bring. I know the value I bring. It's funny, I had a conversation yesterday, 15 minutes. 15 minutes. And I saved this man minimum of $2,000, maybe more like $7,500 with a 15-minute conversation. So what's that worth? You know, that's one of the things that I think a lot of us get caught up in is that hourly rate. What's it worth? Well, it only took you 15 minutes, Mike. What would you be willing to pay? Yeah, it only took me 15 minutes to save him $2,000 to $7,500, $2,000 to $7,500. But you know why it took 15 minutes? Because I spent 2 years researching that particular topic that we were discussing. So I knew all the things that he was trying to do. And I could give him some shortcuts. I saved him 2 years of research and ultimately several $1,000s. Good morning, Don. Late to the party, but seems like a great topic. Yeah, absolutely. So again, my question for you is, where do you stand in your own way? Where are you succumbing to that resistance? I love that word. You've heard me talk about this before if you've watched me. Stephen Pressfield's The War of Art. He talks about this mythical force of resistance, that thing that stops us from our true calling, from our purpose. What is it we put in our way? He talks about resistance being a variety of different things. Resistance can be disguised as support. You know, I kind of touched on that. I need more education. I need more support. I need more this. I need more that. No, you don't. Just fucking do it. Just make beautiful shit happen. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So what can we do to have that conversation too? Guys, and I'm looking at you. Because the ladies make a lot of noise. We need more men to speak up. We need men up. We need to deepen the conversation. Dana, just scared to be successful. Yeah. Again, it's a scary thing. What if I do well? Then I got to continue to do well. And I got to do well again. What are all those little roadblocks? But try. You never know. Don't try and practice. What do we got going on in comments here? Burpees, burpees. One should never be embarrassed if they don't succeed. They tried, which is more important. It's easier to have tried and not succeeded than to have never tried in the first place. You'll never succeed if you don't try. Money isn't the be all and end all, but it helps. But is it absolutely necessary? Depends on how you want to live. Money isn't absolutely necessary, no. Lots of people without money live very happy lives. Not how I want to live. Money has afforded me a lot of opportunities to contribute, a lot of opportunities to give back. Good morning, Linda. How are you? So yeah, money is not the be all and end all. But if that's something that you want to succeed in, if that's something you want to do, if you want to grow your net worth, your wealth, there's nothing wrong with that. Because let's face it, in this world, that does afford us more opportunities. It affords us more opportunities to share and build and grow. Again, let's face it, if I had to have a 9-to-5 job, I couldn't have these conversations with you. I couldn't make the kind of impact in the world that I make. I couldn't stand up on stage and talk about how men need to get involved in this conversation around violence prevention, violence against women. Again, October is Violence Prevention Month. It starts with the conversation. It starts with the big, broad public conversation. It narrows down to those one-on-one conversations. The conversations with your boys. The conversations with your friends, your coworkers, your boss, your subordinates, whatever it is. Anne says, experience has shown me that the people who are out for the almighty buck will try anything and everything. Most of them don't get where they want to go because they're not doing it for the right reason. Do what you do well and the money will come. Agreed, 100%. But I think part of that, Anne, and I've seen this a lot, is that can also become one of those roadblocks, that resistance, that self-sabotage that we talk about. Money is evil, so I'm not going to make money. And then because I'm afraid to actually put myself out there and put myself in a position where I can earn a good living, where I can make money. And we use that as a deflection. We use that as resistance. We use that as an excuse why we don't make more money. There's nothing wrong with making money. Just don't be an asshole while doing it. And frankly, Anne, I would rather have the good guys and gals making the money than the assholes. So it's time for the good guys and gals to stop putting up the roadblocks. Let's create the wealth. Let's create the governance. Let's create the power. Justin says, I totally experienced that with the business I owned. You're more worried about not getting to help someone and not worried about your worth and your value. Yeah, so where can we get out of our own way? Where can we question the things we do and challenge ourselves? You know, like Jen challenged me at the gym this morning. All right, I'll do those burpees if you do burpees. Fine, Jen, fine. And then Grant says, this is why we don't talk to Jen in the morning. But again, when we start to challenge ourselves and challenge those around us, that's when we start to rise. That's when we start to lift. Cram, you nailed it. For good people to make wealth rather than bad ones making it and hurting others. Absolutely. You know, I remember it was Zig Ziglar, I think, he was talking about wealth, and he's a Christian man, and I think he used to get a bit of pushback in the church because he was a very wealthy man. He did very well in the sales arena. Zig's one of those sales gurus. He's long since passed. But he said, I can't remember how he phrased it, but basically, don't you think God would rather have his people have the diamonds than Satan's people? And I just thought that's so bang on. Like, why are we afraid? Why is money a bad word? Why is capitalism a bad word? That's a whole nother conversation. But there's nothing wrong with making money. Just don't be an asshole. Pretty fucking simple. Pretty simple. I'm just saying, do what you know without the thought of riches, and I guarantee you will make money if that's not the primary reason. Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree, Anne. Totally agree. Do what you do for the love of doing it, and the money will follow. But you also have to be smart about that. So I 100% agree with you, Anne. I just want people to be cautious that that doesn't become an excuse. And just to ask that question. Am I holding myself back from making money, doing what I love, because I have this belief that money is evil? Or that money will taint me or change me or whatever? Because that's a really good question. And that, I've seen so much self-sabotage around that. Don't you think you could do more of what you love if you were smart about it? Those damn butts, Anne says. I agree. However, I agree and, not but. You know what they say? Everything before the but is bullshit. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not negating at all what you say, because I agree with you. I just want us to be conscious of whether or not we are using that as an excuse. All right, my friends, happy Thursday. Tomorrow I am heading out camping. We are going into the backcountry. So I'm not positive what time we're leaving, but I suspect it's going to be early. So I may try and get a show in from the road, but I'm not positive. Anyways, my friends, pop on over to mikecameron.ca, sign up, register for a free account. We're starting to get some conversation going over there. As soon as I can figure out the right technology platform to do these live streams there, then I will. In the meantime, go to YouTube, subscribe to the Men Up with Mike show on YouTube, because once I get to 1,000 subscribers and a whole bunch of watch hours, then I can start to embed that directly on my website. And that's my hope, my goal, my achievement, my milestone I'm looking for. All right, my friends, as always, continue to make beautiful shit happen and have yourself a fantastic day. Take care.